I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. That's what
Yeah, because if there's anything in this world that you can take to the bank, that's Candace's word.
When I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated.
They were attacking me, guys. I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I just decided to go max and throw a super temper tantrum and tell people to stop sending money and donating to this godforsaken company. Today's video is going to be a bit of a laid-back one, because I don't know about you guys, but I am experiencing some incredible Candace fatigue. So I did a video yesterday, and I was basically just sort of like giving my prediction of what I thought was going to happen with Candace Owens when she came back after that meeting she had with Erika Kirk. And I know that there was a lot of people that were hoping that this was going to change something and that Candace was going to sort of like correct course and, if anything, sort of avoid accusing TPUSA of being involved. And my opinion was really simple. She can't. She won't. Anything that she gets out of that meeting, she will use to her advantage. And she will try to spin it to continue the grift. At this point in time, Candace is far too pot committed to give this up. She just can't. Not only can she not do it because of the popularity that she's gotten from it, the amount of money that she's making from it, but her audience will not let her give this up. Candace did not go hard enough for them in this video. Even though a regular sane person like us, right, we would watch this and we would go, oh, look, she's not going to change at all. Well, her fans, it wasn't good enough for them. There are a few points in this video that she makes that she is not lying. And I think it's important that when Candace is on both sides, when she's lying, I think it's important that we call it out for what it is. And when she's not lying, when she is actually being truthful, that we are also honest about it and stop accusing her of doing something she's not doing. Because there's plenty of stuff that she's doing that she's being accused for. We don't need to twist things and make things up and try to accuse her of stuff she's actually not doing. That's what they do. So let's go ahead and just run through this video quick. It's not going to be a very long video today.
I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erika's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with Justin Strife very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual...
So Charlie Kirk was unalived on September 10th in a very public, brutal fashion. People have spread such false information and such, for lack of a better term, bullshit, that people actually believe his wife, Erika, and his closest friends are somehow involved in what happened to him. And now Candace is on a video after having a meeting with Erika, right, with people from TPUSA, and she's laughing and joking about not drinking water that maybe they would have offered her. This woman has no class. That is incredibly poor taste, and I think it's a little pathetic.
Aim of this conversation, and he was pretty clear, and Erika was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with...
Money can't buy class, guys. Money cannot buy class, and it cannot buy character.
With what obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their...
They were attacking me, guys. I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I just decided to go max and throw a super temper tantrum and tell people to stop sending money and donating to this godforsaken company. I might have overreacted a little bit. She just outed herself right there. I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I threw a fit.
Their capacity to answer. And I've told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually when I met.
Yeah. Candace was under attack, guys. She's the victim here. Okay. She's the victim here. There's that meme that's going around, and this is just what I'm picturing in my head right now, where it's Candace like pointing in the mirror, and she's saying, "You go out there and make this about you." I think that sums up Candace Owens really well. She's the victim, guys. She was getting attacked.
If that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I personally do not trust him, and I obviously do not like the fact that I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter, because the police wanted him to take it down and secure the footage. And I said, I know that's not true. And they said, well, after all of that, after he took the cameras down, there was a police officer or Fed, whoever it was, that spoke to him and asked him to secure
the SD card thing and the camera thing is such a stupid point. It's not like those SD cards disappeared and nobody has them. They even showed Candace what was on those SD cards, right? I'm pretty sure she said that she talked to, what was his name? Farnsworth. And that he showed the video of the camera that was behind Charlie. That's where she said, she came out and said, oh, there was no exit wound. I can confirm because I saw the video. So this whole, this is stupid. It's completely, it's a nothing burger. It means nothing. He grabbed the SD cards to secure the SD cards and then turn them over to the FBI or to the Utah State authorities, whoever. That means nothing. But I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. The SD cards were turned over.
The footage. Well, that makes sense, but it's not a reason for why he took it down immediately. It makes sense that as you're investigating, you're going to say, who's got the footage? Let's lock it down. But it didn't make sense to me that Tyler Boyer lied about it. And I don't trust Tyler Boyer. And that is never going to change. Similarly with Rob McCoy. He makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it. I look at him and he's a bad person and nobody can make me feel one way or the other about that. I was surprised to learn, and this kind of gets into, I guess, us not knowing the inner workings at Turning Point USA, that Rob McCoy actually does not work with Turning Point USA in any capacity whatsoever. And so him communicating.
I don't recall anybody ever making the claim that Rob McCoy did work for Turning Point. His son worked for Turning Point. I don't know where they got this, that Rob McCoy worked for Turning Point USA.
As he has done, I'm the pastor, I'm this, I'm that. It's just not real. That is not real. And we should know that that's not real. And when he says that, call him out on that separately from Turning Point USA. I was operating under the assumption that he worked for Turning Point USA. And I said...
Yeah, that's the problem, Candace. You operate under a lot of assumptions. That's mostly what you operate on, is assumptions. You don't have a lot of factual information. And that's why we are where we are. Because you just run off of emotions and assumptions.
Obviously, that's wrong. I'm happy to correct that. But also, what were we to assume when he hit the stage at the memorial and said, I'm America's pastor, and then had the Wikipedia updated and said, well, I'm assuming he had it updated because who else would do that he started Turning Point USA Faith. So I guess, to be clear, we were just wrong about that. And I will have...
We were just wrong. No accountability at all. Of course she can't, though. She can't. She cannot take accountability. That's part of the grift. That's part of the gaslighting. It's got to be a we. It's a collective. Cannot be just I.
This individual said, this post is so fake as it would violate HIPAA. Like, there's patient privacy. You can't just call up the surgeon. And then Andrew Colbert replies and says, rest assured, I would not have posted without full permission. Now, he said he spoke to the surgeon, and they confirmed that Andrew spoke to the surgeon, but that they did not know that he was going to write that tweet. They did not know that he called up the surgeon. So, like, it very much came across to be like Andrew was just flying by the seat of his pants. I don't know. Like, he was just flying dark on me. And I was like, that seems very strange to me, because why would a surgeon do that? Like, the first thing the surgeon should say is, I can't speak to you. I don't even know, in theory, Andrew wasn't even there when Charlie died. I don't even know why the surgeon even knows this guy, actually. Maybe he hung around after, but, you know, Andrew was not one of the people that got into the hospital or anything like that. So this is quite literally the PR guy who's calling the surgeon. And so that just seems very inappropriate for a person to do, period. And I would say it was kind of the beginning, but that was what I got from that. Now, obviously we discussed.
What was that? She just went on a long ramble. And the conclusion of that ramble was, what Andrew Colbert did was inappropriate. What are we doing? What is this? Oh, that's inappropriate. That he really should have done. What are you, his mother?
The security, I brought up Brian Harpole, this interview with Sean Ryan, and I think we can believe Turning Point when they say that they did not approve of this. They had no idea he was going on Sean Ryan. I think that's pretty clear. I don't believe he works there anymore. So that was kind of him just getting.
Did Turning Point say that they didn't approve? That would imply like Harpole would have asked for or may have needed their approval. I have a feeling that she's twisting a lot of what was actually said in that meeting. I can't imagine that she asked about Brian Harpole and the response that she got from Erika or whoever else was in that meeting said, well, we didn't approve for him to do that. I don't know that he would have needed approval. So I can't imagine they would have used those specific words. I'm conflicted here. One part of me thinks I just want TPUSA to completely ignore Candace and stop feeding this grift. But the other part of me kind of wants them to address her. So I don't know. I don't think they should have done this meeting. I said that in my previous video. I think this was a stupid thing to do because you can't trust this woman and she's going to spin or twist or do whatever she needs to do to continue this grift. And now she has a 4.5 hour long conversation, right? That she can pick apart and go back through in her mind. I don't know if she took notes while they were doing this, but she can extend this out for quite a while. You know what I mean? 3 weeks from now, she'll be like, you know, I recall now when they said this certain thing and the way that they said it, and she'll just spin some shit off of that.
To hear that. And I said that, I was like, I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, like, you know, their lawyer, who is involved in this case, one of the lawyers that's involved in this case. There's always a team of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, you know, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. That's what
yeah, because if there's anything in this world that you can take to the bank, that's Candace's word. I told them, I said to them, I told them, I won't say, I promise, I won't say what that thing is. I won't do it. I will keep it quiet. You get the fuck out of here, Candace. What, they didn't share the information with you? Weird. Or they told you, no, all we have is what this is. That's it. Maybe that's what the lawyer said. Or the lawyer said what lawyers are supposed to say when they cannot divulge fucking information. They say, everything you have is what we have. Erika Kirk has already come out and made the public statements that she has seen certain things. One of those things being the autopsy report. Well, that autopsy report, that's not in the affidavit of probable cause. That's not in the charging documents. And I believe Erika when she says she's seen the autopsy report. So it sounds to me like the lawyers told Candace what lawyers are supposed to tell people whose business it isn't of anything that's going on.
If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not going to, if you say, we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit. Okay. So what you have, what we have seen is what they have, what is being.
Okay. So I don't know what lawyer this is, right? I don't know if this is a lawyer from the prosecution team or if this is like TPUSA's lawyer. Like, I don't know who she's referring to, and I can't imagine we'll get that information unless TPUSA comes out and makes a statement on this. But if you guys go through the court proceeding, just the most recent hearing, if memory serves me correctly, I want to say that the prosecution team said that they have roughly something along the lines of like 13,000 files that is going to be submitted for evidence. And that as of right now, I believe they had been able to turn over to the defense team somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,000 and something of those files. Because they have to go through discovery, right? All of the evidence that they have has to be given to the defense team. And then they have the hearing that was scheduled for May. And I believe that's like when they go through and they start going through the evidence. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about because I'm not 100% sure. But the point being is that I'm not shocked that a lawyer didn't share sensitive information with Candace Owens.
They have not seen anything that you have not seen, is what I want you to know. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling? Why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is.
I'm not sure what about is in the charging documents isn't convincing to these people. They have text messages between him and his roommate admitting guilt. Okay, they're not going to fake text messages because that would be so incredibly easy for the defense to prove that those are fake. They have a statement from the parents basically saying that Tyler Robinson confessed. People try to argue this point that it says, well, he implied to them. Correct, it does say that. It does say that the parents said that when they were talking to him, he had implied that he was the shooter. They conveniently leave out the rest of that statement where it says when the parents asked why he did it, and then he gave a response, something along the lines of Charlie spread too much hate and needed to get rid of that hate. If somebody asks you why you did something that you have implied that you did, and then you give a reason for why you did that, that is a fucking confession that you did it. Between the roommate, the text messages, and his own parents giving a statement saying that he replied as to why he did the crime, that in and of itself to a jury is incredible evidence. That is very damning evidence against Tyler Robinson, let alone the fact that we have an alleged unalived weapon with his DNA on the trigger. His DNA on a towel that the firearm was wrapped in that they found. I don't understand what about what's in those charging documents is not convincing to people.
Is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest. And I offered that a more honest way to communicate would be to say, we think he's involved. We feel strongly. I've said that. I think he's involved. We are very hopeful that.
No, that is not a more, the most honest way to communicate with these people is to just tell them they're retarded. How Candace wants to be communicated with is how we were communicating with them 2.5 months ago. But at this point, since this Candace's entire investigation has come up with absolutely nothing, zero. No, now we just say you're retarded and laugh at you. That's it.
So unless I am mistaken, and I am not perfect, but I do feel like we worked really hard to see when this location was first revealed. The first time that we found that the courtyard was mentioned, because Charlie's speaking at events, your assumption would be they're inside, right? You have no idea where it is. So it's not like you can see whether you have a shot to the courtyard.
No, Charlie did plenty of outdoor events. There's all kinds of videos you can find of Charlie doing outdoor events. It's not uncommon. In fact, he probably did just as many outdoor as he did indoor. Regardless, doesn't matter. He did a lot of outdoor events.
Unless you know Charlie's speaking in the courtyard. The earliest that we found that was on September 2nd. The local media mentioned.
This is nothing. This means absolutely nothing. It was definitely out before September 2nd that it was going to be in the courtyard. Okay. And I'm going to show you that, but it doesn't matter. The fact that they know that that information was available on September 2nd and the event was on September 10th, that gives 8 days. We can look at the charging documents and go through those text messages. The roommate asks Robinson how long he had been planning this. And Robinson said about a week. Well, 8 days is about a week. So as soon as he learned that it was going to be at the courtyard, let's just say he didn't know prior to September 2nd. September 2nd is when Tyler Robinson learned that that's where the location was going to be. We have an eyewitness, right, saying that they saw somebody up on that roof the Thursday prior to the event. So that very well could have been Tyler Robinson. Might not be. Might be completely nothing. Doesn't matter, because we also know that Tyler Robinson was there early that morning at UVU wearing a maroon shirt and shorts with a blue backpack. Roughly right around about 8:30 in the morning. Well, why would Tyler Robinson be there at 8:30 in the morning? Probably to scope out the area and see if he can get a really good look to see where Charlie might be sitting. If you pull up Google Maps, UVU, if you know it's going to be at the courtyard, you can pull that right up on Google Maps and you can kind of scan that area to see what your vantage points might be. He wouldn't have even necessarily need to have gone to UVU the week prior to scope it out. He could have done it that morning. It's not a big area there. And you can easily see the roof access, that little staircase that leads up to the roof where he took that shot. You can easily see that on Google Earth. So this is nothing. This means absolutely nothing. But since we're on the topic, let me pull it up. I'll show you guys that there's the evidence that people knew of the courtyard prior to September 2nd. Here is a Reddit post. Our chance to stand and share our voice to Charlie Kirk. Dream for Utah, stand up for democracy. Wednesday, September 10th at noon, UVU courtyard. When was this posted? Let's just scroll up right here. Get off of there. You guys see that? Monday, September 1st, 2025. And then she pulls up a video with Viva, and I guess she wanted to make a point about the text messages again, that they're so weird. Even Colvette came out and said that they were weird. Yeah, they're weird. Everything that happened on September 10th was weird. It is not weird for somebody to be assassinated like that. It is not weird for a 22-year-old kid to do what Tyler Robinson did. And if we look at Tyler Robinson, that looks like a pretty weird dude. So it would not surprise me at all if this weird-looking kid sent some weird text messages on a day that he did a really weird thing by assassinating somebody. Such a stupid point. Not surprised that the text messages are weird. So one thing I did want to go over really quick before I end this video is going to be the $150 million offer that BB allegedly made to Charlie Kirk. Okay. There's a lot of talk about this, that Candace Owens made this claim. Candace Owens did not make the claim that BB offered Charlie Kirk $150 million. Okay. Candace did say that BB offered him a ton of money.
Like, not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. BB would fund it, you know, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding.
Okay, so she does make the claim that BB offered money to Charlie, a ton of money, and that he denied it. She did not specify $150 million. Where the $150 million comes from is right here.
I mean business. I'm getting to the bottom of this. And lastly, I want to say to this like new flex operation mocking pastor, regarding which, by the way, the first time they went after Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, a source told me, and I would love to get this confirmed, I'm going to find this out, that $150 million was spent on that, and it came from Bibi Netanyahu. I would like to figure out if that's true. But anyways,
okay, so she kind of halfway makes a claim. And then after she makes the claim, says, I would like to figure out if that's true. But so Operation Mocking Pastor, right? This thing she just invented. That's where the $150 million came from.
Okay. I don't lie about anything. So I'm happy she's going to speak about the rumors that Bibi Netanyahu offered him a boatload of money. I didn't say $150 million was offered because I don't know the exact amount BB offered him. I said $150 million. I was told BB gave for Operation Mocking Pastor. Remember when all the
I think it's really important that we at least keep things as honest as possible here, because this is getting insane with just the amount of claims and the amount of things that are getting twisted up and spun. Really, at this point, almost on both sides. There is a ton of people now coming at Candace. This wasn't the case 2 months ago. This wasn't even the case a month and a half ago. The amount of people that are now like deciding that it's okay to come out from behind the curtain and call Candace out. See what they were saying a month and a half ago. See what they were saying 2 months ago, if they were saying anything at all. Be skeptical. These people are all fake. And that's really like they're taking advantage. All of these people are taking advantage of something that they know people desire. And that's honesty and truth. We have a hunger for it. People have a hunger for truth and honesty, and they're just looking for somebody to do that for them. Just somebody to be a voice of reason, to be honest and truthful. You're not going to get it from any of these people. It's not going to happen. Stop thinking these people have your best interest in mind, because they don't. They don't. They are in a competition with each other, and they are all trying to preserve their little slice of the pie while also trying to increase the size of that slice. This is business to them. Just keep that in mind when you're listening to these people.
Many other channels are not hearing what they want to hear, so it's automatically, well, Candace got paid. The chats are so botted. It's better to actually look at comments after the episode to see what people think. And we've had so many people talk about how there are so many.
Candace's own words, guys. It's better to look at the comments after the live to see what people really think. Well, let's take a look really quick, shall we? Before we end this video, let's see what the comments are after the video. Transparency is never found in private meetings. That's where deals are made. I think I just realized we the people will never be allowed to know. If you haven't been gaslit before, this is what it feels like. Confusing, draining, nauseating. I feel so stupid after this episode for following this for 3 months. My bad. All ends here. It's a big club and we aren't in it. TP is probably thrilled because now your audience doesn't trust you. Meeting privately was a serious mistake in judgment. The people know something is off and we're not here for it. In South Africa, I wait up till midnight for this show. Time difference, obviously. Now I'm not too sure anymore. I can't be the only one who feels a slight disappointment in the change in attitude after one private meeting with Erika Kirk, right? We didn't hear about what TPUSA said to her at all. This meeting should have been live. We're all really confused. My husband asked me, so what did Candace say on this episode? And I honestly didn't know what to tell him. Like, pretty much nothing. This episode truly felt fake and gay. How ironic. 4.5 hours of conversation, and yet we the people are still confused AF. My advice is to put the phones down and go outside. These people can't be trusted. I'm so over this nonsense, I'm going to clean out my junk drawer. It was at this moment I realized that I needed to get off the internet. If I'm going to be destroyed by this system, let it be in person, not due to corrosion of my mind and spirit because of the totally avoidable influence of social media. I think this private meeting is going to cost Candace a lot. Anyway, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, all the way down the line. And you know what the crazy part is? Even if a majority of her fan base turns on her, I think it's only going to increase her views because now the people that don't like her are just going to watch it even more. And the people that do like her are going to continue to watch. And the people that are mad at her are going to watch her to see if she changes their mind, if she can reel them back in. So, conclusion, anybody that had any hope that this was going to be put to rest after that meeting with Erika Kirk, unfortunately, that's not the case. So we'll catch you in the next one.